Wow, what a perfect tool for exploring the countryside. Today we have what many people regard as one of the best entry-level e-mountain bikes on the market. Here in these beautiful hills, we aim to demonstrate just how versatile a bike like this is without having to dig too deep into your pockets. Now, as for this model, many of you might recognize him. He is the heart and soul of everything eMTB tech, a true wealth of knowledge. You might actually be surprised to know this is actually his first ever e-mountain bike ride. Yeah. And I know this could be a position that some of you guys are in. You're yet to buy your first e-mountain bike, and hence I've brought Owen along to the tropics of Wales.
It's glorious, isn't it? Look at that.
Yeah, something basic then, Owen.
Yeah, it's simple, but it offers such good value for money. Okay, I've got one with fenders and a rack, but you can get one without fenders and a rack, but it's just so much great value for the bike you've got. Like, really good brakes, good wheels, pretty good tyres. Okay, they're really fast rolling, but it's got loads of technology and features packed into it. Great value.
And crucially, a long-range battery. The ride then, a proper off-the-beaten-track adventure, including forest trails, moorland and sheep tracks. I really do think that a bike such as this is the perfect tool for getting out in the countryside, so I thought I'd start you off with some fine-cut grass.
Very good. Enjoyable.
The bike we're riding today will be in pedal assist mode, limited to 15 miles per hour and seems to be restricted to UK regulations. Be aware that this can easily be changed via the app and controller to suit your local laws. I've got to say, I do like a nice kickstand.
Diolch yn fawr.
Come on through. And the bike is waterproof.
Oh, now we're talking.
Oh yeah, look there, look. Oh, look how cute that one is. Oh my God.
I think as in America, you can have them as, support animals? You can have a support pony.
The ponies. Owen, the ponies?
Oh, not those ponies, right,
ponies.
Sorry, yep.
Do you know what, I was just thinking actually, that mountain biking, it's a scary old business, isn't it? I mean, you've been in it quite a long time now.
Yeah.
The sheer amount of bikes, the choices of bikes.
Yep, it's wild.
Where you can ride.
Yeah.
How to ride, places you can visit. But the thing with e-mountain biking, especially at the budget end of the scale, is that there are so many really, really bad ones.
Yeah, I've heard some real horror stories from, well, just loads of things in terms of just basic reliability that on a budget sort of like analog bike you don't get, whereas on the e-bikes you do get all these problems of things like, you know, batteries not working and motors not working, and just it's a really rubbish experience.
Yeah, I mean, what people want, if they're new to mountain biking, you know, they want reliability, don't they?
Yeah, they do, yeah.
True story, I've actually ridden some budget e-mountain bikes where the battery was continually falling out.
Fun. That would be a good experience.
Not ideal. So folks, welcome to the Velotric. This is a hardtail, front suspension fork, 700 watt-hour battery in it, for plenty of range, as I mentioned earlier. And Owen's actually got his own custom version.
Yeah, I've got a special version here. We've got a rack on the back. I haven't used it today, but I could do. And we've got fenders, so it makes it washing machine friendly.
This is the Summit 1 from Velotric, and it comes in 2 sizes and 3 different colours.
So what can you do on bikes like this, Steve?
Good question, Owen. Actually, do you know what? I think it's not just what this particular bike can do, but actually what bikes like this will enable you to do in general. Okay. Because I do need to emphasise this, that this bike actually isn't available in all countries.
Oh, okay.
It's $1,700 for starters.
Wow.
Which is insane, absolutely insane. This is the Summit 1, folks. It's got a hub drive, and it's a hardtail, and it's got 120mm fork up front. So there is a limit in terms of the technicality of the riding you can do. So I think these kind of trails which we've been riding for the last kind of hour is absolutely bang on for a bike such as this. However, we might venture into something a bit more techy later in the video. I suppose the question is, what would you like to do on this bike?
That's a really good question. And I guess I feel like I'm in the same camp as lots of first-time e-bikers, and you're spending an amount of money, and if you've not done it before, you don't know whether it's going to be a mountain bike, a dedicated e-bike, or you're going to have like an e-enduro bike, and without kind of tasting it and experiencing, you just don't know. And actually looking at mine and having ridden this one with I call washing machine spec, with the fenders and the rack, you could use it for commuting as well. So it's versatile.
Yeah. Actually, on the subject of washing machines, did you know that Velotric have actually put that battery into a washing machine for 2 hours and it still works?
Wow, that's waterproof beyond waterproofing.
Waterproof
that's impressive.
beyond. Waterproof beyond. And there comes the rain. Right, front of house on this bike, and by that I mean the remote and also the display. I think the quality of this on a bike which is $1,700 really is exceptional. So on the remote you can control and you can toggle through your display. On the display you've got all the usual metrics of speed and range, and also route finding, which I'll come on to a little bit later. The throttle is there to be enabled if you live in America or any state in the world where you can use throttle. And then the battery, as I mentioned, 750 watt hours, which is plenty of fuel in the tank when you're having a big adventure in the hills such as this. But more than that, you can actually dismount the battery and charge it in your hotel room or your house or your flat. So really good touch there. So we have the different modes. You have Eco, Trail and Boost. And then you've also got 5 levels of assist within that. Here's your trip distance, and you've got your trip time, max speed, average speed, CO2 saved, calories. So it's all there. And this is the most important bit. If you go into the app, you can actually change the speed limit. So obviously here in the UK, we've got ours at 15 miles an hour. Remember, the Velotric Summit also has an app where you can track your ride, change screens, adjust your bike, synchronize with Apple Health, record your ride and share your ride. It's all pretty incredible. So I think these kind of tarmac roads are, you know, perfect for this kind of bike. And right. Wasn't expecting that, Owen, I have to say.
Yeah, that looks quite spicy.
Is this actually your first ever techie climb on an e-mountain bike?
Yes, 100% first ever.
Right.
Climb. Bit scared.
I guess this is where a hardtail and less than deep treaded tyres might come unstuck.
It could do. I mean, they're really fast rolling and they are really comfy. So there's pluses.
They are.
I feel like we'll test them to sort of the edge here.
A bit of Welsh sandstone. Here we come, I think.
Right.
Oh, slippery. Oh, those ball tyres. It's like a power stage, Owen.
It is. Oh.
Whoa. Extreme budget e-biking. Definitely not made for this. However, whoa! So I think that's a demonstration that these bikes are really quite capable in the right hands. I think this type of track is perfect for these bikes. I mean, here in the UK, you've probably got hundreds of thousands of miles of traffic-free trails like
easily.
this, right?
And it's fantastic. It's like a lost paradise.
It is, isn't it? Look at this.
Magic.
Absolutely heaven.
You could say tremendous.
Tremendous.
I think what I've been really impressed by is just how quiet they are.
It is, isn't it?
And it's amazing. We're out in the middle of nowhere and it's wonderful and peaceful. We've seen buzzards, we've seen loads of birds. And on these, they're so quiet. You can just get to places that you couldn't otherwise get to.
I would go as far as saying that this bike is quieter than a mid-drive.
Wow. That's saying something.
Yeah. Energy levels up. Woo!
Do you need those 3 Haribo?
No, I don't. Right, slightly dirtier bike, although we have been having quite a good time up in these hills.
Awesome time.
Just want to point out that this bike has been designed, the frame, the motor, the software has all been designed by people who've got massive experience in the industry. It's been tested to destruction. You know, it's sleek, it's integrated. I talked about the display and the remote earlier. I talked about the hub drive. Now, obviously, the hub drive e-mounted bike is less expensive to produce than a mid-drive bike. But nonetheless, it is, you know, as we found out today, it is super capable.
Yeah.
But I want you, Owen, to cast your eye over some of the component parts of this bike. What's your thoughts on it?
I think it's been really smartly sort of designed. So we've got 275 wheels or 650B, but with plush 2.6 tyres. So we talked about how they don't have the biggest tread knobs, but they roll really quickly. And key for a hardtail, they're really comfortable. So it's a really nice ride for an aluminium hardtail.
What I found previously is that a wide tyre, even with a lower profile, has often got more grip than a narrow tyre with a chunky tread pattern.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Yeah. Use more surface areas to get to bike grip.
Brakes, bars, talks to them.
Yeah, so they've got size-specific bars. So I think it's 780 on the large and then a 760, which is a really nice detail. They've got different stem lengths as well. So I think a lot of budget bikes, the geometry isn't quite there. With this, it's really sorted.
Yeah,
you've got that internal cable routing, which you've mentioned, which means you could run a dropper post, which would be a nice upgrade.
I mean, you do not get internal cable routing on budget bikes, do you?
No. And as we've ridden, it is really, really quiet. And I think we've mentioned it as well. And I think some of that is the hub motor, which makes it a little bit quieter because the sound's behind you. But it's also the really good attention to detail with the cable routing. You've got kind of cable wraps on there, so it's all really neat. And the through the headset cable routing means it's super quiet. What's really nice about this bike is not using any weird standards where you can't upgrade. So if you wanted to go for a dropper post, because of the dropper post routing as well, you can on this. If you wanted to change the grips to something ergonomic, you can, because it's all regular sizing.
What's your thoughts on the gearing? I mean, I think it's an 8-speed, but you know what? I think there's plenty. But you mentioned about the shifting on that. It's Altus, isn't it?
It is. It's Shimano Altus, so it's kind of, I would say, the entry point for the Shimano world. Genuinely, like, effortless shifting from the shifter, so that's a head nod to really nice cable routing as well. And also, 8-speed. I think it's really easy at the moment to get caught up in the fact that, I need 12-speed, I need all these gears. And actually, when you've got an adequate range, especially on an e-bike, working all the time is much, much better.
I think it's probably worth pointing out to you guys that, you know, if you are going to try to ride steeper terrain, you might want to put like a 44 to chainring on the back there, or maybe a smaller,
chainring, yeah.
And also, Owen, these wheels, Novatec wheels, those are quality wheels.
Yeah, they are, yeah.
Brakes, the Shimano brakes, I've said it for years. They are absolutely gold, aren't they?
They are amazing. They just work.
To me, that trail we just been down and what we're about to do, I mean, this is mountain biking.
Yeah,
and you can keep your surface flow trails. That's it, Owen. This is the summit for the Velotric summit.
Awesome.
A good mixed ride, I'd say.
I think, yeah, lots of terrain, lots of different terrain.
Yeah.
I think we pushed the bikes to the limit, but there was loads of really fun stuff in there. It's good.
When we say push to the limit, you pushed to the limit.
Yeah, I actually did push.
Push.
I also didn't finish talking about specs. There was some emissions, which were huge.
Yeah.
So, I guess I didn't mention the lights. So it's got an automatic light that comes on with when the light's at the suitable sort of like light luminosity, I guess is the right word.
It goes on when it's dark.
Basically, yeah, that's a much more concise way of saying it. But yeah, there's also a 2-year warranty, which is really good. Most bikes come with a year's warranty, but that's double as long on this one. We've also got a kickstand, which I think is absolutely awesome. I've used it loads today. And I think if you're using it as a commuter, you'd use that all the time, especially if you've got some pannier bags on there, trying to load and balance a loaded bike. Kickstand's great, and the weight isn't too bad.
It is.
The standout, though, is, I feel like we've mentioned it a couple of times, but just to reiterate, this is $1,700 US.
I know. I mean, I think the fun you can, I hope, I mean, this was your first, e-mounted bike ride on a, what many people regard as one of the best budget e-mounted bikes.
Yep.
we did a lot of different terrain. We did fire roads, we did tarmac roads, we did a little bit of kind of techie stream beddy stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
We saw some lovely sheep, some lovely horses,
Exactly.
ponies, foals, buzzards, red kites.
Yep.
We saw some beautiful backdrops.
Awesome views and just getting out there. Like it was really good to have the ability to really get to the summit.
So do you think you like it?
I think I do like it. I think I like it a lot.
One thing I need to mention, folks, is if you are thinking of buying a Velotric Summit, there's actually 500 dealers where you can go and update the bike or have any servicing that you need doing for it. I think that 2-year warranty is really good as well. But I think we've proved that it can be a reliable tool in some quite testing conditions. So,
yeah, definitely.
Folks, let's know your thoughts. If you've not bought an e-mounted bike yet, if you're thinking about buying your first one, if you've got any doubts about where you can go and ride the bike, remember, as I mentioned earlier, this bike can be configured as Class 1, Class 2 and Class 3 e-mounted bike, depending on the country you live in. But any questions about, like I said, where you can ride them or any servicing or update information, just let us know in the comments down below and we're more than happy to get involved. Owen, thanks for coming to the hills.
Thanks for having me. I'm looking forward to our next e-bike ride.
Me too.
It's going to be good.
Mm-hmm.